hopefully, oh, there we go. That did it. All right. Hopefully everyone can see and hear me. Welcome to Midjourney Mondays. If you're here, you've probably seen this Twitter thread, but if you haven't, I do have a thread on Twitter that has all the details about Midjourney Mondays. Basically, everyone is welcome. Everyone who's curious about how to use Midjourney, you can use it so many different ways. If you're just curious in general about AI art, please feel free to just use the chat, hang out, and participate in prompting with us. What to expect. We go over the user guide every week, but today isn't a lot of stuff from the user guide. We are going to look at the community guidelines, but today we're really going to talk more about prompting and art styles. So I do have a schedule within this thread as well, and it's also within the description of every live stream video in terms of what to expect in each of the episodes. So today is May 1st, episode 2, and we're going to talk about considering your artistic style and the art of constructing the perfect prompt. Obviously, the perfect prompt is subjective, and it is going to depend on what your intended outcome is and what you're using it for. But we're going to start to explore what that could mean to you individually. So this is April and May. I also have the schedule for June and July. Basically, as we get into July, we start to get into the more complex features that are only available in the more premium plans of Midjourney. And then, as I mentioned previously, this is free. There is no cost. You're welcome to send me tips on Twitter, or you're welcome to book me for consulting if you need more personalized help. So check out this thread for all the details. We're going to start off by just looking at the community guidelines. Obviously, Midjourney can be used a lot of ways, but there are specific ways that it's not supposed to be used. So we're going to start with that because obviously if you have something in mind that's outside of what falls within the parameters of the guidelines, then obviously this is not the platform for you. So let's start there. I think it's kind of obvious in terms of how you should not use it. Be respectful to the other people who are using it. As I mentioned in the last episode, it's Discord server based, so there are opportunities to communicate with strangers or people you don't know. They encourage you to just be nice to other people. No adult content or gore. There are a lot of specific words that are banned that Midjourney has deemed to be sexual or disturbing, shocking. I don't know exactly everything that's on that list of words, but there are certain words that I've personally tried to use that I've seen blocked. I think you can't use the word moist. Which is funny because it's just like that can be used in a lot of different ways. What else can't you use? I think I've tried to use like sensual, which isn't necessarily sexual. So yeah, just be mindful of the words you use. If they determine that you're like trying to circumvent their policy, you could get banned or get in trouble. So be mindful of not using words that would fall in those categories. If you're viewing live, you are welcome to pop into the chat and just like say hello, introduce yourself. If you were with me last week, you participated in some prompting probably. So also, I just want to make sure that the chat works. So please, you're welcome to use the chat. This is live and I want to interact with you. Next thing is, yeah, don't repost the creations of others without their permission. So I use the bot in stealth mode, and I use the bot in like a private DM channel. But if you're using one of the newbie threads, or you're like prompting in one of the public channels in the Discord server, you're going to see other people's creations in real time. And it does say, like, specifically that you shouldn't take anything that you see there and like share it without people's permission. So something to be mindful of. What else? Yeah. Gore. Oh, it does get specific about what is considered gore. Okay, so it does say what's considered gore in adult, but it doesn't say like what specific words you have to exclude from your prompt. So for gore, it says yeah, detached body parts, cannibalism, blood, violence. I'm almost like afraid to say these words in my live stream because I don't want to get like YouTube to like turn my live stream off. Adult content, nudity, sexual things. It specifically also says people in showers or on toilets. Fetishes, yeah, interesting. And then offensive content. So that offensive is, I feel, probably the most obvious of everything listed here. Things that are racist, things that are homophobic, disturbing, derogatory, obviously like nothing offensive of a celebrity or a public figure, nothing that depicts children in a way they shouldn't be depicted. So I think this is important, and I actually, yeah, I have a lot of respect for Midjourney for being very explicit about how this should not be used. And again, it doesn't say what words you can't use, and that's probably intentional so that people don't like circumvent it. But anything that they deem to be related to these categories will be blocked. Okay, so automatically banned keywords. So this is what I was just talking about in terms of like certain words, they'll just kind of reject your prompt and they won't run it. This is the message that you'll get when you use a word in a prompt that's banned. This is so funny. The peach emoji is currently a banned word. Oh my God. I didn't know that. And first of all, I've never used emojis in my prompts, so that maybe that's something to explore more today. That's fascinating. Self-policing and reporting. So then there's just some information here. Like if you are in one of the public channels and you see something that seems to break one of these rules, you can report it and kind of flag it, and they have instructions as to how you can do that on the community guidelines page. So that's that. So today's episode is about art styles, and I had the unique pleasure when I was in New York during NFT NYC to attend Accelerate Art's Moving Forward event on April 12th. And one of the panels was AI prompting for artists with Claire Silver. And it was really fantastic and amazing. I've met some like AI friends there that I already knew. I made some new friends there. It was a really special event. And basically, Claire has this video or presentation called AI Prompting for Artists, and they played it, and then they had her do like a live Q&A at the end and answer questions. And there was a lot of good information. I encourage you to Google it. It's probably on YouTube or somewhere. I'm sure she has it somewhere. But there were a few things that she said that really stuck with me and struck me as important pieces of information for those that are still developing their personal style. And also just prompted me to kind of think about my own prompting in different ways and just explore different resources that maybe I previously hadn't considered. So I found that to be really inspirational, and that definitely inspired some of the things we're going to go over that I suggest in this episode too. Again, if you are watching the live stream, please feel free to say hello in the chat. I also just want to make sure the chat works. It was being a little funky earlier. So we're going to look at 3 resources. A couple of these were mentioned explicitly by Claire, and a couple of them are just things that I found on my own. Test. Okay, fantastic. It's working. That's lovely. Good to see you. Meek, I'm happy to have you here. So we're going to go over some of these resources, and then we're going to do some community prompting. And I just want to make sure the chat works, because when we do the community prompting, you're going to like type in words and suggestions, and as a collective, we're going to prompt together, and it's really fun. Okay, so I'm going to start with Art V. So this is one of the suggestions that Claire made specifically. I had never seen or used the Art V website before. So it's Art, ARTV, the letter V, EE.com. And this is what the website looks like. So essentially, this is a website where you can browse a bunch of art. And you'll see on the homepage that you can designate whether you want to see classical art or modern art. I'm on the modern art page, but if I click over to classical, obviously you will get stuff that looks a lot different. But for the sake of starting somewhere I'm interested, we're going to start with modern art. I really like illustration. I really like classic American illustration. So Art V came up because when you're prompting and you're considering your style and what words you want to include in a prompt to get a desirable result, it's good to be specific in terms of art styles, time periods. Some people will even go as far as using specific artist names within their prompts. And I know there's some controversy around this. I personally don't really like using artist names in my prompts. I find it more valuable to find a piece of art from an artist like this one, for example. I really like this. This is obviously a pinup girl. But basically, you can open this up and see this piece of art. You can see the artist, the time period, the style, and then you can get some information about the artist, his life, things of that nature, and then a bunch of related pieces, other pieces from the artist that are kind of similar. So you could use this in a lot of ways. Like you could go through this side area and you could start to read about the art, and you might discover, oh, this is a painting of a pinup girl. And if this is a style that you really like, this is something that you might want to include in your prompt. I actually think pinup girl might be banned. So let's see. I'm literally just going to put painting of a pinup girl. Let's see. Oh, look at me getting myself into trouble right off the freaking bat. Of course. Okay, so let's back out of here. I'm getting too risky. Let's get something a little less risky. If you're watching in the live stream and you're in the chat and something calls out to you, type it in the chat. I kind of like this. What is this? This is like a fox or something of that nature. I think it's a fox or a dog. Let's see. So, influenced by the American pop art movement, Spanish surrealism, and sci-fi fantasy art, Joanna Donnell's paintings use natural and figurative symbolism to comment on the ever-evolving human condition. So, they have the name of it. They have the artist, 20th century. You can click and see things that are similar. So, if I liked this, I would take words probably out of this second paragraph to include in my prompt. Influenced by the American pop art movement. Oh my gosh, it doesn't want to copy. Why are you doing this to me? Do you see this? Oh, it's because I'm... I see. There we go. Do y'all see me struggling to copy this because I'm being lazy and don't want to retype? Oh my goodness. There we go. I finally got it. Okay. We're zoomed in a bit more than we probably need to be. All right, there we go. I want us to be able to see the images. That was kind of cool. Let's see what words. Obviously, we don't want to include all the like random pieces. So let's say American pop art style. I'm gonna take out these other two. Painting. Let's see what we get. Let's look back at hers. I could have probably got more specific and said like red, or this has like a galaxy background. American pop art style painting of a fox. This is, now that I look at it more, I think this might be a dog. I have a dog and I'm looking at this mouth and nose and I'm like, that's looking kind of doggish. And like, yeah, I don't think it's a fox. Let's also say fuchsia. How do you spell fuchsia? I feel like that's wrong. Okay, so now I'm getting more specific to try and get something closer to the reference image. We gotta give that a moment. So ArtB is a resource, and this is one that Claire mentioned. See, look, like we have some boobies in here. Like these are things that you would not be able to do in Midjourney. This one's kind of cool. Something else that you could do would be save the image and then upload it into Midjourney and then use Describe. Again, that's kind of controversial. I don't love the idea of like taking an artist's work. Well, I don't know. I guess it depends on how far you want to go. So here's another one. This says Chinese 20th century illustration. So, okay, look, this is kind of closer to what we saw. It's different because I didn't really specify like a lot of line work and paint strokes. And I could have said like facing forward, like, and this is a part of what's really fun about prompts is as you see things, like you go through iterations and you add more words and get more specific to get something closer to what you want. So let's use, if you are, if you're in the live stream, feel free to contribute to this process. If you see a piece of art on ArtB that you like, we can try and make something in its style. So I'm gonna say 20th century Chinese illustration of forest. Bold, high concept visual style of painting. Whatever. Let's do that. See what happens. When you type a prompt, it doesn't necessarily have to make sense in terms of like being a sentence that you would, you know, put in an email or a letter. So don't get too caught up in that. Let's look back at this reference. So 20th century Chinese illustration. Pretty cool. And then, okay, something's happening. So I specifically asked for a forest. I used some of those words from the Art B description, bold, high concept, visuals. I specifically said painting. We're going to move out of Art B momentarily and start to look more at like aesthetics. Then we'll talk about art movements, and then we'll do some community prompting. Okay, so this is coming together nicely. This is pretty cool. I think it's still loading. Yeah, 93%, almost there. There we go. Very cool. Very cool. I like this top right. Which is number 2. Let me zoom out a little more. That's nice. I like that. So this was inspired by Chinese 20th century illustration. Oh, look at the little like what are these called? I don't know, like this little, do you see it in the back of the forest, like the little architectural Oh, it's so cute. I love this. I really do like this. Okay, so I think y'all get it in terms of how you can use RB. There's a lot of cool stuff on here. Here's another one. This one looks more surreal. Again, it will say under the picture, it has the name of the artwork, the artist, the time period, the location, and then like the style. So it has figurative, illustration. Some of them say expressionism, pop surrealism. I kind of really want to see what we get with pop surrealism. Okay, just because I'm curious, that seems like an interesting combination of words. Pop surrealism. And that was this one. Tokyo, Japanese, 1980s. So these are like, these are really good words to consider in a prompt. Ethereal, dreamlike, fragile. But again, this is assuming that you like this image. So this is a good starting point, and I would encourage you to look through here. Oops, sorry about the boobies. Look through here, find different pieces that resonate with you, and then start to go through the descriptions and look at the time periods, the artists, the locations, the styles, and incorporate words into your prompt to get similar stuff. Clearly, I'm really digging a lot of the illustrations. I like this as well. This reminds me of like a tarot card or something. So let's see what we got. Okay, interesting. Pop surrealism painting of a woman in pink. Those are really interesting. That top right and bottom right are very fascinating. Let's look at bottom right. Very interesting. Like, what is that creature thing? It's just like, what is that thing floating back there? Okay, very cool. So, moving on from Art B, next thing I have to look at is Aesthetics Wiki, and you can find it by typing aesthetics.fandom.com. You can see you should be able to see the name of the website and hopefully the URL and stuff in my screen share. So this is an awesome resource as you're considering different aesthetic types and different words to include in your prompt to get a specific style. So, for example, these are really interesting. I've never heard of some of these words before. Baroque, cartoon core, Christ core. What the hell? Clown core. Okay, so let's go with bloom core. That sounds like flowers. If you're watching the live stream and any of these words call out to you, please type them in the live chat and we will start experimenting. I think I'm gonna pick Baroque for now. I'm gonna say Baroque style painting of grapes on a table. All right, let's see what we get. So we've moved on from RV. Okay, so we're looking at aesthetic types. Bohemian. Let's get out of, okay, goth core, gore core. So we know that won't be allowed on Midjourney. Halloween. Oh, that's fun. I love Halloween. Hyper pop. Let's look at that one. Hyper pop girl at a bus stop outside. Okay, so Baroque. Yeah, very, very beautiful. Very nice. So I don't know what made me want to type grapes in there. I went grocery shopping earlier and I got some grapes, so lovely. Okay, so we're just exploring different art styles. It looks like the hyper pop girl at a bus stop outside is still coming together. We'll give that time to marinate. If you're watching live, please let me know if any of these aesthetics are interesting to you. Lolita, lunar punk. That's interesting. Modernism, mushroom core. Nostalgia core. Feel so out of the loop. I've never heard of some of these things. Like, I don't even know what to expect when I type these things in. Some of them, at least. Prehistoric core. Princess core. Maybe we do princess core. That one sounds fun. Okay, so this one was hyper pop girl at a bus stop outside. Okay, so we got like pinks and we got some neons going on. That one's kind of cool. That top right one's kind of cool. What was the other word that we just looked at? I already forgot it. I already forgot it. What was it? Princess Core. That's what it was. Princess Core headphones. 3D render. This is cool. I mean, I'm speaking subjectively, I guess. So I'm just kind of going down the aesthetics list. This is just another resource that you can consider as you're trying to figure out what styles to use or what words to use to get a specific style. So Princess Core headphones looks like pink, which is what I expected, is coming through, and there's some gold going on. Let's see, maybe we'll get a crown or something happening here on the side. That'd be cool. Roaring 20s, that's fun. Rockabilly, romanticism, romantic goth. Sorry I'm late. Don't be sorry. I'm happy to have you here, darling. We're looking at so this is recorded, and the first like half hour you can play back. We looked at Art V, and now we're looking at some aesthetics on the aesthetics wiki, and we're just incorporating some of these words into prompts. This is a collaborative thing, so as I'm going through the list, if you see any words that are interesting, I encourage you to type into the chat and I encourage everyone to just participate. I love to share the stuff that we make together after this on Twitter, and show people what's possible with a community. So Sleepy Core, Smile Core. There was one I saw that I found interesting. Where'd it go? Sanrio Core. That's like Hello Kitty. Let's look at that. Okay, so our Princess Core headphones, they're not as princessy as expected. They're just pink. What's a good animal? Let's say hippo. So I'm expecting to get something that looks like a Hello Kitty character from Sanrio Core Hippo. Skater. Spirit Core, Space Cowboy, Sanrio, Surrealism, Synthwave, Tiny Core, Trauma Core. Oh my god, that sounds concerning. Oh goodness, Unicorn Core, Urban Fantasy, interesting. Okay, let's bump back over to Midjourney. I don't know. It's not looking, so that's not giving me what I wanted. So let's say hippo in the style. Let's be more explicit of a Hello Kitty character. So we're going to move on from aesthetics and start to look at art movements shortly, unless there are any other aesthetics y'all want to explore. Vaporwave, Victorian goth, wabi sabi, nice, Western, witch core, winter, Y2K. Okay, look, this is closer. It's only 46%, so it still has a ways to go. We'll give it a moment and scroll back up. Hyper pop, hip hop, wabi sabi. These are so cute. I don't know if it I don't know if it necessarily looks like a hippo to me. Let's just type wabi sabi and see what we get without any further instruction. Hipster grandparent core. Grunge. I used grunge in a prompt earlier. Gloom core. Yeah, there's some really interesting words. And what happens when I click into these? Oh, look at this. Okay, so when you click in, you get some more descriptions. Gloom core inspired by tranquil forests and foggy beaches. So clicking into one of these, you could get even more words to use in your, look at this, related. Goblin core, nature core, ocean grunge, colors. Yeah, this is awesome. Highly recommend Aesthetics Wiki. Wabi Sabi is giving us what appears to be some, yeah, like some pottery, some ceramics. All right, and our last one before we just fully jump into community prompting is art movements and styles. This is just an article from Artland Magazine. This is not sponsored by them in any way. This is just an article I found online that had a bunch of styles listed that I thought was a good resource. So surrealism, post-impressionism, pop art, impressionism, baroque. Some of these words you will recognize from the Aesthetics Wiki. So I'm going to click into one of them. So futurism, an Italian development founded in 1909, has a few artist names, and then you can click further and you can read more about futurism. And again, something like this could be really helpful in terms of using some of these words in your prompt. Painting, architecture, sculpture, talks about different techniques, blurring and repetition. A celebration of movement. Let's use some of these words. Rococo. I hope I said that right. Oh my god, my awful spelling is so... kind of want to see gloom core. That seemed interesting to me. Gloom core mushroom field. It looks like we're getting, ooh, almost like a Victorian style. 62%, still coming along. 78%. Let's look at some other art movements. Harlem Renaissance, Impressionism, land art. Oh, this is interesting. Environmental art. Works made directly in the landscape. Minimalism. see what we got. Futuristic style painting of a moving taxi. Cool. Pretty cool. I like that bottom left. I like the top right. Let's look at Dara's suggestion. Oh yeah, it has like a very Victorian. I really love that furniture on the bottom right. It's so dramatic. I love it. And then Gloomcore Mushroom Field. Oh my god, this top left is frightening. Oh, fascinating. What were we looking at? Minimalism. Oh my goodness, made it too small. Sorry, I'm having so many screen difficulties today. What's going on? What's happening? Do you see this? Okay, there we go. Sorry, y'all. Minimalist geometric shapes. All right, so we went through ArtV, we went through the aesthetics wiki, and this is just an article for reference. There are tons of resources where you can find, ooh, Cubism, Picasso. Let's do that one too. There we go. So these are all good reference points as you're considering what style conceptual art is really cool as well. Perhaps we'll put that in there too. Fauvism. I hope I'm saying that right. Okay, so let's say pitcher of water. Let's see what we're getting up here. Minimalist, geometric, colorful shapes. Very cool. And then this was Cubism style painting of a crystal gem. Let's look at your suggestion, Dara. 31%. Let's try conceptual art. Family on vacation. Conceptual art? I hope I spelled that right. Where are we at on your prompt, Dara? Let's see. 93%, almost there. Oh, beautiful. Which one do you like best? I really like that top left. I really like all of them. Top right. I love it. I love how you can see the brush strokes and they're super colorful. Top left. Yeah, I like that one too. Family on vacation, conceptual art style. There's some weird stuff happening in these. Oh, this is so nice. It's beautiful. Look how you can really see those Brush strokes. Oh my goodness. Let's open it in browser. Oh, beautiful. Really nice. Really, really nice. All right, let's just move into some community prompting for our last 15 minutes together. So we looked at different artworks on ArtV. We looked at a bunch of different types of aesthetics. We talked about some art movements. You're already giving me some really good suggestions, Dara. What is... I don't know. It's not as conceptual as I was hoping. Maybe I should have said like realistic or photography or something. I'm gonna jump back here and start plucking some inspo words for us so we can just play around and make some cool stuff together. Foodie. Flapper. Okay, that's like 20s. Fauvism. Oh, that one's on here, Dara. I didn't even see that. I missed it completely. Fairy core. Hi, I'm late, but here and listening. No worries, my friend. So you have entered at a fun time. It's like our last 15 minutes or so together, and this is the time where we just kind of do community prompting together. So we just kind of throw words out there, art styles, adjectives, moods. Last week, Joshua threw out some moods. It's your dad. Okay, it's my dad. So hi, Dad. Thanks for coming and hanging out. I'm so glad that you're here for the community prompting portion of this. Yeah, throw some words out there. We're going to prompt together and make some cool stuff. Dara mentioned that she likes fairies. So let's get some fairies in the mix. I also like fairies. Love that. Hi, Dad. Okay, so what style do we want? 3D. There we go. Dad threw it out there. 3D. You know what? Yeah, no, I'm not gonna get crazy. 3D style. Fairy. What do we think in terms of like colors, scenery, outfits? Let's get more specific with our fairy. I'm gonna put in front of it wide angle. Oops, wide angle. So what colors do we want to see? If you leave it up to me, I'm gonna say pink. 3D. Okay, we got cyber 3D style, cyberpunk, fairy, and then you said dramatic lighting. Okay, this is getting purple. Okay, purples and blues. All right, I think I've included all suggestions. Purples and blues, dramatic lighting, 3D. I'm gonna copy it so that we can do it again with maybe some slight variations. I'm gonna paste it. This time I'm gonna say close-up shot. I'm gonna say photograph. Well, no, that will contradict 3D. Close-up shot. Do we need a scene? Yeah, let's add a scene and see. Well, based on cyberpunk, they're probably gonna give us something techy. But let's do another version that specifies scenery. Like we can have her outside. We can have her shopping. Shopping would be fun. Stuff is happening. What is this? 78%. Okay. Cityscape. Okay. What do you think, Dara? Cityscape. And then I'll open these other ones up and we'll look at what we got for our fairy. I'm going to take out Cyberpunk. Actually, no, let's leave that for Cityscape. Because otherwise it doesn't really make sense. Okay. That top right is pretty frightening. I love fairies everywhere. Have an entire fairy world. Fairies are pretty fun. Bottom right looks pretty cool. You let me know, y'all. I'm gonna make bottom right bigger. Let's look at these two. This is the close-up. Ooh, bottom left is really cool. Top right. They're all really cool. Bottom left calls out to me immediately. I'm gonna make bottom right bigger. Bottom left, actually. Let's make it even bigger. Wow. Check that out. That's pretty cool, y'all. Let's look at the other one. Hard to pick just one. It's always so hard. I just go with my gut feeling, honestly. Like, I just go with what, like, when I see the 4, whatever stands out to me immediately, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go there. This is pretty cool as well. I like the lighting. And where was the other one? This is the other one we did with the cityscape. This is the one. Love the shimmer under her eyes. This one or this one? The close-up. Yeah, this is very cool. Let's see. Let's check these out. I don't know. The wings are not giving fairy. I like the wings too, but it's like they're almost like this bottom left is almost like bird wings. Let's look at this top left maybe. Or you let me know if there is one here that really stood out to you. I kind of like this top left. Let's look at it closer. Yeah, pretty cool. Cityscape gave us, you know, the kind of urban setting in the background. Cyberpunk and fairy gave us like this interesting, I noticed a lot of like pinks and kind of blues, electric type colors. Top left. See, look, we're in alignment. We're in alignment about what we like. Okay, so 3D style, and it's interesting, 3D, I don't know how, these look very realistic to me. I don't know how 3D they came out, but we have about 5 minutes left. Let's explore another setting or type of prompt. I'm gonna save some of these images and I'll post them on Twitter when I post this the recording and video. So considering some of the art styles and aesthetics and art movements and different words we went through, what do we want to do for our next prompt? I am open to any suggestions. I have some thoughts, but I spend a lot of time prompting by myself, so realistic castle, okay, that we are sending us in a certain direction. And we have Dara here who's going to help us build on the realistic castle. I'm assuming this means goblins, and I'm just laughing because the NFT collection immediately comes to mind. Okay, so I'm trying to think about how I'm gonna work this in. Okay, I'm gonna say goblins standing in front of I'm gonna move the word realistic, and I'm gonna say 4K photograph of goblins standing in front of goblins in a castle. Goblins in a castle. Okay, so what are the goblins doing? Like, you know, maybe there's a certain activity going on. It's a certain time of day. Maybe they're, you know, having a party. Maybe they're having dinner together, eating hot dogs. Of goblins. Angry. Okay, angry goblins. I wonder why they're angry in a castle. Drinking beer. Okay, I can see why they might be angry now. Drinking beer together inside a castle. All right, I feel like this level of I don't know if we need to get more specific. This might be enough at this point. Let's see what we get. This is fun. And while this is marinating, maybe we'll do some variations of it. So perhaps I'll do another one where maybe they're not angry. Maybe they're happy. And maybe in this one they're drinking some wine. And they're in a cave. Let's see how this differs. This is fun. I hate goblins because I'm a fairy at heart. Well, we did a cyberpunk fairy, and now we're doing like a goblin tavern of sorts. Okay, this is coming along quite nicely. Things are happening. Goblin parade. Okay. Of a parade of That's true, Dara. That is okay. Let's see what we got here. Wow, some of these are just okay. Bottom right is pretty cool. Top right's also pretty cool. Let's make some of these bigger so that we can really see what we're working with. And then what's happening? Okay. Let's make this bigger. Yeah, look, he's mean mugging. He looks pissy for sure. They got the beer. Very nice, very nice. I don't know if it's giving castle in the background, but okay, maybe. I'll take it. I'll buy it. And then what do we got here? This one's definitely giving castle in the background. Look at this. This one there, this is the happy one. This is the happy scene. Having a good old time together. Drinking, got the beer. It looks like they have some food as well, perhaps. Very nice. Very nice. And where else did we go? We had the wine. Okay, drinking wine in a cave. Wow. Let's make that bigger so we can actually see what's happening there. And then we have the goblin parade. Maybe make some of these bigger so we can see them. All right, so drinking wine in a cave. Oh my God. Why is this so good? Like, okay, they have their little cups and look at their little happy faces. Like, wow. Oh, goodness. Okay, and let's look at our goblin parade. Wow, this is really terrifying. Look at that mug. Look at the little the little village they live in. Yeah, this is really something. Wow, that's scary. And there was another one too. Really, really, really frightening. Like, why do they look like this? Oh my goodness, that was fun. We have made some really incredibly fun things together today. That is our hour. An hour flies by when you're having fun. We went through the community guidelines. We went through the ArtV website where you can kind of get inspired by different types of art so that you can prompt in specific styles. We looked at the aesthetics wiki where you can start to find certain words that capture an aesthetic that you're looking for. I just clicked into bubble goth as an example. And then we started to talk about different art movements and like using words associated with these art movements in your prompts to get certain styles as well. So next week, let's see. Next week is episode 3, and we will talk about upscaling and variations. We've been doing upscaling to look at the images larger, but we haven't been doing too many variations. Maybe we did it a couple times last week. We'll talk about rating images, saving images, and yeah, then the week after that, we'll get into settings, different modes. We'll go more into Niji mode, stuff like that. I am super excited. It looks like you threw one more in the chat, so let's do this one last one before we leave. Goblins hunting fairies. Let's see what we get, my darling. What else? So these are recorded. If you join late, you can play it back from the beginning. I will do this every Monday until I think the end, until like the mid-July. We'll finish with permutations, which are one of the kind of advanced prompting structures that you can use in Midjourney. Every Monday from 12 to 1 Eastern. We are closing out our community prompting session with goblins hunting fairies. I appreciate you doing these. So fun. Of course, it's my pleasure. It is really fun. People ask me a lot about how I use Midjourney to make my different crystal inspired art and all the different stuff that I post on Twitter. And I got to a point where I was just like, why don't we just live stream it and I just show everyone, and then you know, you can be inspired and learn different techniques, and you can use it on your own if you decide to use Midjourney. Some people like Stable Diffusion. I love Midjourney though. Wow. This bottom left is like, what is this? It doesn't even look like a goblin. It's like a rat creature. Okay, this is maybe a more convincing top left. And yeah, this is definitely like a goblin war scene, this top right. So let's make it a bit bigger. Though I just hate how it doesn't show the fairies. Maybe if I would have worded it differently. And that's when you start kind of experimenting with using different words. But they're definitely like goblins, and you could tell they're mobilizing like to do some damage. They definitely look like they're hunting hunting something or someone. Okay, so we made some cool stuff today. You'll notice on episode 1 in the cover image, I took a piece of art from our community prompting and put it in the cover image of the YouTube video. So I'm going to go through the different stuff we made together and pull out some of these, post them on Twitter. I might use this one, Angry Goblins Drinking Beer. Maybe I'll use this one as the cover image. This one's really epic. But yeah, this has been super fun. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I will be back next Monday at 12 Eastern. Shamelessly have to say, please subscribe. My channel doesn't have enough subscribers to monetize it at this point. So the more subscribers, the better, and the closer I can get to the point where I can actually monetize these videos in some way. This was fun and informative. Thank you. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you. And we'll be talking soon, Dad. All right, y'all. I will see you next week. I hope everyone has a lovely week. And again, it's recorded. You can play it back from the beginning. I will see y'all soon. And if there's anything specific y'all want to cover next time, feel free to slide in my DMs or check out the schedule that I posted in the Twitter thread. All right, y'all. It's also in the description of these videos. Have to mention that. The schedule for the next couple months is in the video descriptions.